I have to tell you that during the last 2 or 3 months, where we are dealing with this single topic, I mean the CITS, we realized a completely mind shift among the politicians and among the groups. Because this was the first time for me. I'm working in the parliament from 2004 after Hungarian accession, and I realize all the time that there are many big political debates. But when we introduced this report, my MEP István Ujhelyi introduced the report 2 weeks ago in the parliament, there wasn't any political group who was against that. There wasn't any political group who raised issues that we should change completely this report. And I have to tell you, this is the first time for me personally that we got positive reactions from them, and not only political reactions, but professional reactions. And we are in the middle of the amending period. It just finished, finalized today, and we don't know exactly how many amendments we will get from the Trump members. And I wanted to tell another important thing, that 3 other committees dealing with this issue, because as you mentioned in the introduction, there are 3-4 key issues. I mean the security and safety question, and I mean the cyber security as well, the data ownership question, and later the car vehicle and the vehicle system as well. There are 3 other committees who gives opinion to this report. And I have to tell you, I don't understand the parliament why they could not wait our opinion, because if you make an initiative report, after that the other committee should draft the opinions of to this report. But somehow now the opinions were prepared before. So this is an interesting decision-making system in the parliament. But I have to tell you that we look through carefully all the opinions of these committees, and they are very positive as well. So that's why I'm very happy today, and sorry that my MEP couldn't come, but maybe it's better now this phase that I arrived, because I'm, as I mentioned, dealing with the content of the report. I really would like to mention, not talking too much, because as I mentioned to you, that there isn't any political debate, but somehow the politicians made the amendments. We don't know exactly which political groups would like to go where. And this is the report when we are coming from different parts all over Europe. And the problem is, even if you check the coverage, the internet coverage of the different regions, I can talk about concerning my country, Hungary, where even do not have 2G in many places. So my main question is, how can we make this technology accessible to all the citizens? So this is the first thing. How can we involve everybody? I can tell you my personal example. We don't have to use other examples. I have a Mazda MPV, which is 14 years old. And this car even not connected to me sometimes. So even in winter time, which is coming. And the second example, next to it, I have an iPhone, the latest one. How can I connect my iPhone to my car? So this is the first topic. The second topic, which was raised by mainly the stakeholders, and I have to tell you, I would like to thank again to the Commission, because we realized that this topic is so big, so huge, so complex, that not DG is not enough to handle that. And there are 4 or 5 different DGs in the European Commission, and I have to tell you that they were, all of them, very cooperative to us. And they explained the technological aspect, explained the research and development aspects, and I have to tell you, and this is the main message on behalf of the Parliament, that we followed the Commission strategy. We followed the ITS strategy, we followed the ITS directive, and we followed all the results in the research and development program, what they reached. And it's very difficult. I always thinking about that, why the European Commission needs the opinion of the Parliament now. Because there are 7 programs parallel, like GEAR 2030, like this ITS platform phase 2, just finished, just published the result. And we realized finally that they need our support. And that's the thing what I would like to give to the Commission, because this is the second topic what I mentioned. This is the cooperation. we could implement these technologies only together. And with the institutions, with the stakeholders, and with the companies as well. As I don't know now the amendments of the different politicians and political groups, I can tell you, and this is the third topic which I would like to raise, the conflict of interest of, or the different interest of the different stakeholders. Because in this report, Mr. Ujhelyi wanted to open 2-3 interesting questions, which is not really which is a little bit forward thinking and not directly linked to CITS, because as we realized that to implement CITS all over Europe in all the new vehicles from within 2 or 3 years, it can manageable. We have the technology, we have everything for that. This is our approach. But we just realized, and I can approach this from my perspective because I'm a user as well. And I have Macintosh and I had IBM. I use Wi-Fi system and I use Bluetooth. So we know exactly very well that there are many different technologies which serve the same aim, to be connected and to get the contact as soon as possible. And this is the only thing what the users are interested to get the data immediately. Doesn't matter which technology we use or they use. And I have to tell you, as I'm an economist and not an engineer, but I try to understand what is the real topic on this field. I asked them that later, if it's possible, if we have a standardized technology where the name of the standard contains G5, after that, please don't use 5G, because it will give us a big confusion. And sorry to say, but I'm working with politicians, and when we are in a learning phase, you can combine and you can confuse G5 and 5G. And after that, we heard about other technologies which would like to be 5G coverage. So it's only important aspect of of the report. We have many things we put. It was a big job. We started to put together, and we wanted to put together all the aspects of this field, and I think we were successful in that. What I really would like to mention, and I think all the time the solution and the problems are in the small things, because finally we met almost all the stakeholders and the majority of the manufacturers, car manufacturers, I mean, and we met many telecommunication companies as well. But where the big debate happened is 2 words. The first is hybrid communication, hybrid application, and the second is technological neutrality. And I have to tell you that we know very well that technological neutrality is important, but I have a strong feeling that sometimes this technologically neutrality word is used by outside of the context. We got amendment proposals from the IMCO committee, and I'm sure that some amendments will arrive from our TRAN members as well in the future, or they had arrived. But I would like to emphasize that the hybrid approach is technologically neutral in our approach. So we would like to make a compromise on that, because somehow it's really interesting that only these words were the key part of the debate. And the others, I would like to mention only one last thing concerning the report. And this was somehow our mission, to make a vocabulary for our colleagues, because there are many imagination about automatization, about electric cars, about hybrid communication technologies, about all the different part of this story. But I think the first important thing to teach our colleagues that which things means what exactly. Because this report is mainly about CITS, and automatization will come later. We think that it will happen within some years, but if you look around all Europe and You see the different coverage, as I mentioned. You see the different social background. The question of the social question, for example, I wanted to raise this as well, that we will lose many workplaces, traditional ones, but we can create new ones. So the coin has two sides all the time.